Hello, welcome back to the channel. Slightly different style of video here for you this evening, but a very worthwhile topic nevertheless, because what I want to go on and discuss is just how broken the government's zero emission vehicle mandate has become here in the UK. Now that we're a good bit way through the first year of it, we can reflect and see just how effective or ineffective it's been. Spoiler alert, it is the latter, not very effective at all. Now, for anyone who is uncertain about what I'm referring to here, the zero emission vehicle mandate, this is a mandate that was set out by the government that took effect this year that essentially tells vehicle manufacturers how many zero emission vehicles they need to produce and sell based on a total amount. In other words, electric powered vehicles. So it's done as a percentage year on year, and this year it started. The target was 22%, and that target is going to be driven up and up and up each year until the year 2035, when it's going to be 100%. I say 2035, but under Labour government, that's actually going to get rolled back to 2030. So 100% by the year 2030, which we're a long way off, believe me. Now, the repercussion for car manufacturers of missing this target is actually quite severe. It's £15,000 in fine per car sold that doesn't meet the criteria. Unbelievable. And this is where the problems begin, you see, because this is very much focused on battery powered electric vehicles. I'm talking here plug-in lithium ion battery equipped electric vehicles, so hybrids, and also super clean, super efficient, superb new engine technology which manufacturers are coming up with that honestly deserves to be commended. Counts for nothing, goes for nothing. This is all about battery powered electric vehicles. And that is a problem because people aren't buying electric vehicles in the quantities that they'd hoped they would be. So the target was 22%. That's 22% of all new vehicles registered on the road this year were to be electric, no emission vehicles. What we've actually achieved, 16.8%. So we're a long way off. Why aren't people buying electric vehicles anymore? Because these figures were more positive in the past. Well, honestly, I think it's just becoming common knowledge. People are becoming aware of the shortcomings of electric vehicles. They tend to be more expensive to buy. They're more likely to be written off if involved in a fairly minor road traffic accident. They can be more expensive to insure. They can cost more to fix when they go wrong. They've got a really steep depreciation curve, and if you're thinking, well, I'll keep it long enough that the depreciation doesn't really matter to me, well, you're probably going to find out that that battery expires 10, 15 years down the line, 100,000 miles, you're going to need to replace that, and that could cost you half of the vehicle's new value over again, so it could write off the vehicle effectively. The other problem here in the UK is not everyone's got a driveway. Quite often it's a public car park and the house is nowhere near it, so that kind of does away with the perk of being able to charge overnight, cheap overnight prices, which are not going to be cheap for long when everyone's doing it, by the way, make no mistake. So you're left open to whatever these public charger stations are going to cost, and they can be absolutely extortionate. A few months back when I made a video, I compared a small petrol car and an EV if you were relying on only these public charger stations, and it was far cheaper to run a small petrol car than it would be the EV. So what is the upshot then? Well, I think the unintentional consequence of this is it's going to push people to hang on to their older cars for longer. Personally, I think that's a good thing. All round, it's good for repair shops, maybe not so good for new car dealerships. But bear in mind, this is only the UK as well. It's like we're the awkward child in the room, not playing by the rules. The UK is too lucrative a market for a manufacturer to completely boycott, but what we may end up with is a subset of government-approved electric vehicles. Who doesn't want to live in that world, eh? Now, Nissan, Toyota, Jaguar, Land Rover, these are just some of the names that have spoken out against this ZEV mandate and said, to quote, "It's unachievable and it should be delayed because consumers are just simply not buying electric vehicles in the quantities that are required." So what is the better approach then? Well, it was Toyota and MG who came out recently and said that hybrids should be included in this ZEV mandate. And honestly, I think that's a great idea. I think that would stand us in better stead, put us on a better road, because for one, well, consumers actually want to buy hybrids. If we take a look at the numbers, what you can see is that this is still one of the strongest growth categories. They don't suffer the same depreciation, they aren't as expensive to buy, they don't offer the same range anxiety issues. It's complete madness really when you consider that something like this, the new Golf GTE, that's got a zero emission range of 60 miles, and then the super clean petrol engine kicks in if you need it. It stops you from getting caught out. Now, if VW sell you one of these, it's going to be a £15,000 fine to them. Meanwhile, if Rolls-Royce was to sell you an energy zapping £400,000 Spectre, then they're going to get a pat in the back. It's utter madness. Now, if like me, you're going to be in the market for some time for petrol and diesel cars, here's a handy service to know about. Vehicle Score. Put the plate of any car you're thinking about buying into this service, even if it is an EV, and it will tell you the good and bad points for completely free. Now, if you are thinking about buying that car, you should really buy one of their paid HPI reports. I'll drop a 15% discount voucher and link in the description below to help with that. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Please do hit subscribe, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you for the next one.